hate this hoe.
I might get rich and run out. These niggas can't buy what I know. Bitch, I took the sign off. That shit no longer apply to me. I'm the only one that play to win, lil' bro. He play for Kings. Chopper with a Call of Duty scope. This ain't no limit squeak.
Alright, boom. So what's going on, YouTube? Today is actually still the same day that I went to ATL with my dad. I'm just currently taking my sister to cross country practice. So I mean, I thought, shit, why not make a video about credit? Why don't just sit here in the car not doing nothing? So basically, I want to start off for the people that not even hit 18 yet, because I bet you were watching the video like, why do I need to learn this stuff? At the end of the day, you're not 18 yet, so the best thing you can do is ask for your parents, your mom or your dad, whoever got good payment history, make payments on time, don't overuse their credit. You want to get added to their credit way before you're 18 so you can start building credit. My dad did this when I was about 11 years old. I popped out at 18 with over a 750 credit score. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to disclose the exact number, but with me having that credit score, I mean, it's not hard for me to get approved for a lot of stuff. At the same time, though, for the people that are 18 and have already messed up their credit, the best thing you can do not take that discounting rate that they want you to charge off. So basically, if you owe people $300 and they say, we'll give it to you at a discount of $150 to go ahead and get it off your credit, do not take that. Just because if you do, 9 times out of 10, you will not be able to get another credit card with that company. What you want to do is call that company and basically ask them, can you reinstate your credit card? And what that would allow you to do, basically you have to pay that full balance, but then they would issue you another credit card. So when that happens, if your credit limit is $300, you don't ever want to use over 30% of your credit card. So basically, with your limit being $300, 30% of that, well, basically I'm going to teach y'all how to actually calculate how much 30% of your credit usage is. So if your credit limit is $300, all you need to do is cover up that last zero with your finger, and that's 10%. So 10% of 300 is $30. So you basically do that times 3. The most money you should spend on your credit card is $90. So if you need to make a purchase for $270, use 90, separate into 3 different transactions. Use 90, swipe, instantly pay it off. Do another transaction, 90, swipe. Another transaction, 90, swipe. You never use your full percentage of your credit card. So if you do that 20 times throughout the month, you use $90 20 times out the month. So basically, 90 times 10, that's 900. Yeah, times 20, you spent a total of $1,800, but they gave you a credit limit of $300. So with that being said, you use a total of $1,800, but you didn't use over 30% of your credit, which is good. So when they see that and you do that for a consistent 3 months, basically they're going to look at, we only gave him a credit limit of $300, but he spent $1,800 and paid it off on time and didn't overuse his credit. You're not supposed to use the over 30% of your credit. So with that being said, after those 3 months occur, they're going to 9 times out of 10 increase your credit limit based on however much money you spent. So let me do another example. If that's $1,000, you should not spend, if you have $1,000 credit limit, you should not spend over $300 at once. So basically, if you got to make a purchase for $900, you need to just separate into 3 transactions. 1, swipe for $300. 2, swipe for another $300. 3, swipe for another $300. And if you do that 20 times, let's say you use $900. Well, I'm gonna say shit, but that is like basically a lot of money in a month. If you're using that, shit, you're really rich. But at the end of the day, even if you got cash, you want to use credit, because credit is power. Credit gives you the power to borrow, and that's what you want. When you go to pay for a house, who you know has $110,000 already put down on the house? With your credit being high, you get lower interest rates and smaller down payments. So on that $110,000 house, shoot, you may have to put is that my teacher? You may have to put down on that 110. Normally, if you don't use FHA, you're gonna have to put 10 to 20% down. So on a $110,000 house, you got to put anywhere from $11,000 to $22,000 down on the house. But for FHA, if you haven't bought a house yet, you only need to put 3.5% down. So on that 3.5%, if 10% is $11,000, you split that in half. $5,500 is 5%. Split that in half again. $2,750 is 2.5%. So you have to put down a little bit over $3,500 almost, and you basically own a house. So this video is mainly supposed to be talking about credit, but I mean, shoot, I like to talk about what I talk about. So at the end of the day, let's go ahead and go into some real estate. So shoot, yeah, on a house, if you haven't bought a house yet, just have a consistent job, consistent income. But what companies look at is your debt to income ratio. So if you make $2,000 a month, but your phone bill is $200, your car note is $300, your insurance another $200. I don't even know how much money I said I made at the start, but shoot, if you make $2,000 a month at the start and your expenses are $800, you don't really make $2,000 a month, because you cannot get out of that car note or you're gonna lose your car. You cannot get out of that car insurance because you need car insurance, and you need your phone bill to make calls or anything like that. So at the end of the day, those are expenses that you cannot change. You can decrease them if you maybe dropped your data down or you got liability only plan. But at the end of the day, if your expenses are $800 a month and you make $2,000, your real deal income for the month is $1,200. So if you're trying to afford something and the monthly payments are $1,000, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to give it to you because you already paid $800 a month, and now they're going to add another $1,000. You make $2,000 a month, but your expenses are $1,800, so you only make $200 a month. So you need to keep that in mind when it comes to purchasing stuff. You don't want to take up your debt to income ratio, because if your debt equals your income, you're not going to be able to borrow anything. Why would I lend you $100? Why would I lend you $150 if you only make $100 a month, but you said you're going to pay me back that $150 in that 1 month? It doesn't make sense. It's impossible for you to do that unless you out here. I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't even gonna make no joke, because that was inappropriate. But basically, yeah. So after you buy your first house, you now have to put 10 to 20% down. So this goes for a lot of people when they graduate high school. They wanna, man, I wanna get an apartment. I wanna move out. The reason why getting an apartment is the dumbest thing you could do. Let's just imagine this. It's a misconception that houses are more expensive than apartments. But in reality, houses are cheaper. But I don't know who in your mind just taught you that that was expensive. I mean, I thought it was the same thing. You're not wrong. You're not alone. You're not stupid for thinking that, just because the average person thinks that. So when it comes to purchasing anything like that, if your monthly rent on your apartment is $800 a month and you sign a lease for 12 months, you paying $800 for 12 months. Let's just go ahead and do that quick math. 8 times 12, 800 times 12, you're paying out a total of $9,600 for the year. But by the time you get to the end of that year, you're not anywhere closer to owning that apartment than you were at the start. But if you go ahead and save your 3.5% on a $100,000 house, you put 3.5% down, which is $3,500 plus taxes. And so let's just say you put $4,000 down. Your mortgage is what you owe to the bank, but it's broken down over a 30-year span. So if you owe $90, at that point you owe $96,000 over a 30-year period. So let's do some math right quick. So basically, if you owe $96,000, let's just say your interest rate is, let's just say it's 4%. It's not realistic because interest rates are at an all-time high. So let's go ahead and multiply that times 1.06%. So your interest rate is 6%. You owe a total of $101,760. So let's go ahead and divide that by 30 years. You have to pay a total of $3,392 a year to continue to own your house. Let's divide that by 12. So divided by 12, your mortgage for the month would be on average $282. Once again, this is an example, and it's all based off credit, what your interest rate is going to be and what your monthly payment is going to be. So with you paying $282, if you pay that $282 for 12 months, you subtract that $3,392 from what you owe entirely, which is that $101,000. So basically, now you owe $97,000. The more payments that you make on your house, think of it like a piggy bank. You can pull the equity out of your house. So when it comes to doing that, I know I'm jumping everywhere and it's a lot of information to take in, but shoot, I want to start putting out some valuable content. So, I mean, give you something to watch. So once you do make that monthly payment for 12 months, you paid off a total of $3,392. But you are closer and closer to owning that house, because originally you put around $4,000 down, plus it's $3,000. You're at $7,400 basically that you paid off on your house. So now instead of you owing $101,000, you owe more like $97,000. But let's just say you still have extra money your house hasn't been pressure washed, you don't have a fence, you don't have a deck. Let's just say you put money into adding a deck to your house, you add a fence, and you pressure wash your house. Pressure washing probably costs $100. Not even gonna say that. Let's just go ahead and tax the premium. Pressure wash costs $500. It makes your house look cleaner and it makes it look more valuable. You add a fence, now it makes your house more private, increasing the value. Then if you add a deck, you added something on the outside. You say you renovated the inside, you redid the floors. All of that is adding value to your house. So when you do that, now you go to an appraiser. An appraiser is somebody that comes out to your house and tell you how much your house is worth. A lot of times that comes from the bank and they tell you how much your house is worth. So let's say originally when you bought this house, it cost let's say it cost $100,000 like we were saying. But let's say over these 12 months, the market has increased, your house increased by a value of 7%. So now instead of your house being worth $100,000, your house is worth $107,000. But that doesn't include the fence, the pressure washing, and the deck. So let's just say you spent $5,000 in total on renovation. So you spent $5,000 in total, put a deck back there, did a fence, all that, which is kind of realistic. But I mean, some people know how to do it themselves, so they can just pay for product. So that's why it's also good to learn skills. So when you do add this stuff onto your house, let's just say you spent $5,000, but you added $8,000 in value. So now you're up $3,000. So instead of your house being worth $107, add that $8. Now your house is worth $115. So now what you do is go to the bank, get it refinanced. But now what's going to happen is you might get a different interest rate. But you get it refinanced and pull the value that you added onto it out. So originally you took out a loan for $101,000. With your house being worth $115,000 now, you can pull out $14,000 that wasn't accounted for the first time. And now you have $14,000 cash. And like I was saying, the second time you put down on the house, you got to put 10 to 20% down. So now on a $100,000 house, you got to put anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 down. So let's just say you put down 10%. Now you got $4,000, and let's just say you put that 10% down on a house and you put $4,000 into the house. You can do the same thing. If you put that $4,000 on and add a fence, a deck, and pressure wash, you can probably add another $8,000, and you do the same thing, refinance and pull that $8,000 out, buy another house. But while you're doing this, you're renting out each house. So your house is paying for itself. If your mortgage is $282 a month, like I was saying, when you do so, now if you charge monthly rent, say you got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. If you charge monthly rent of $800, but your monthly expense is $282 plus utilities, just say we cap you out at $400. You're making $400 while your house is paying for yourself. So now you can either double up on your mortgage and pay off your house faster, or you can use that money to put towards your next house. And let's just say you have 3 houses and their mortgage and monthly expenses are a total of $400, but you're renting them out for $800 a month. You're really profiting $1,200 a month passively. You don't have to go to work to make this money. You have to do none of that. Your renters are paying you this money monthly. And I mean, I know I'm getting like kind of carried away, so I'm gonna just cut that off as like a little part 1 because, man, shoot, I want to tell y'all a lot, but I want to let y'all retain that information. So we'll do a part 2. And I'd say probably in a few more days, I'll let y'all marinate on y'all brain a little bit. But I mean, shoot, I really want to continue on, but we already had a 13-minute video. So yeah, y'all just kept me on the next one. Let me know if this was valuable, what you have questions about in the comments, and let me know if you're confused about anything so I can elaborate in part 2. So any questions, leave them in the comments. Any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Do all of that. And shoot, I'll be sure to address them. I'll write a little notepad. And basically, I want y'all to understand this as well as possible so you can apply this in your real life. Just because, man, it's that easy to make money. It's that easy to make passive income. And passive income is a process of you making money without putting any input into it. So basically, collecting rent, like I was saying. But yeah, that's it for today. Hit that comment. Damn. Fuck, hit the comment. Yeah, hit the comment for the question, but shit, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know what else y'all want to know. Part 2 coming soon.
In the lab, I'm cooking up. I think I got the perfect mix.
Stupid hits, Tasha NC Helm, you know I'm too legit.
They really ain't give my credit. This my first time, I just noticed it.
No time for childish games, I need a cougar bitch that knows some shit.
Okay,
Yeah,
poker face, can't show my hand. No QP be the wave, you can't even ride if you find a better brand.
I would hate to scratch a man, but you could get popped by these rubber bands. You know when I'm feeling groove, I get the Bible and I do my little dance.
Okay, life is what